Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Juan Words podcast. I'm Juan Alanis.
My name is Angelica Casares.
And
good to see you again.
Good to see you again, yeah.
Yeah, nice to see you too again.
Yeah. Like we just saw each other.
We see each other.
I know we see each other every day. I'm like, okay, good to see you too.
Okay.
Good to see you on camera.
Oh my God, we just had lunch and we're all over the place.
We're a little delusional.
Yeah, we are.
A little delusional.
Nice. Oh, yeah, lipstick?
Lipstick.
Son of a biscuit.
Lipstick. So how you guys been doing? I hope you've been doing it. I hope you've been doing good. Hope you've been having a good start to your new year.
Yeah, so how's your second month of
the new year?
2020?
I know, 2022.
2022 going, yeah.
2020, it's not.
Look, I had lunch, okay? I am still, like, my stomach is trying to digest it and using too much energy, and it's taken away from my brain.
Yeah.
At least that's my theory.
Yeah, like, you know, when you eat sometimes and it's just like.
Yeah.
Like, the other day I had a baked potato, and I was like, after I ate it, I was like, oh man.
This is
like,
why I don't.
This is why. I was like, next time I tell you I want a baked potato, don't let me get it.
I know, we ate a burger, man. We don't have that. We don't have that kind of stomach anymore to eat like that anymore.
And the thing about like a baked potato, especially here in Texas, is like it's really good, but it's really like they fill it up when they say the works.
It's a barbecue baked potato. You got to be specific because you're like the sauce, the meat, the potato, carbs are just too much.
Chopped beef, barbecue baked potato to be exact.
Was that a tongue twister for you?
Yeah. And you put they put everything. I mean, they like sour cream cheese, all of that stuff, and then you add like the jalapenos and the pickles and like extra sauce.
Yeah.
And, then by the time I was like, I was like, let me go put in my warm ups.
Yeah, no. That was intense.
My stretchy pants.
My stretchy pants.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's how's it going for you, Juan? How's it been? I feel like it's been a while.
It's been that's how it's been going for me. No, I mean, it's been going good. I mean, it's just been busy.
Yeah.
Busier than expected, but I think like
a good kind of busy.
A good kind of busy.
Okay.
A good kind of busy, but you know, like the type of busy that when you forget.
Yeah.
Like when you're so busy that you start forgetting things. Like earlier today, I had a meeting and I completely forgot about it. And it's because I take notes, and so I took a note, like make sure you add a calendar invite for this date and time.
Ridiculous.
And it just completely slipped my mind because as soon as I was done with that, I moved on to the next thing. And I was like, oh. And and so I just was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I forgot the meeting, I'm an idiot.
Sí, Juan, excuses.
Se me pasó, se me fue la onda. I don't know what expression
se te fue la onda.
Se me fue la onda.
Se te fue la onda con la onda. O sea, güey, te fuiste, se te fue todo.
I was like trying to okay, I'm an idiot, se me fue la onda.
No, I didn't say you're an idiot. What I said is
I was saying
you uncaptured yourself very quickly.
But no, I was like, so it's been busy for me. Just a long story short, it's been busy for me.
Yeah, that was a long story.
What about you?
I had talked about my hiatus a couple of weeks ago when we talked about our COVID story.
Oh, yeah.
And here I am. Apparently, I'm still on my hiatus. I was explaining to our friends yesterday about the reason for my hiatus and why I didn't understand what I was doing, but I knew I needed to do it. It's one of those things where people tell you, like, listen to your body, listen to your mind, like, listen to your instincts. And I was like, yeah, that's what I need to do. So I took a small hiatus, but I feel like I'm slowly coming back. Like today was like one of the days that I've done like actual like full day work.
Yeah, we had a full calendar, like unexpectedly full. Like
and I was like, the fuck? How did that happen? How did I jump right back in? Like I was on my hiatus. Like how did I get? What happened? And I didn't expect to do like the work. And it wasn't even like some work that it's probably maybe about 35% of the work that I do. Like if I get back full, like going, it's only like 35% of the work. And I was like, how did I do this? How did that happen? How did I go from 0 to 35? There was no like small, slow ease into it. It was like, bam. And I was like, oh shit.
It happens. Like it's easy to fill up your day. Like I think that's the thing that you don't realize sometimes. It's so easy to fill up your day So like good or bad, like so.
Yeah.
Like your day passes really quickly, like, and it seems like it just goes faster and faster.
It does. It takes up your entire day, your entire time. But I mean, it was a good. I'm back to doing the things that I love doing, Juan, and you know that.
Yeah.
I did the work that you know that we do. So it allows me to do part of the work that I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And today just so happened to be two of the items that I just loved to move forward with and doing. So I was unexpected. It was amazing. I liked it. And I'm like, yes. But then I'm like, I'm tired.
We need a little army to work with us.
a little tiny bunch of Becky armies.
We need a little army. So I was telling a friend too that earlier. I was like, I want to build a team this year. Like,
yeah,
extend the team beyond myself and you.
Yeah, I want to. I would like.
It would be nice to have the extra hands and the extra minds.
The extra like the hands, like the extra people who can do the work. But the extra minds I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But like, hey, I'm just gonna like offset this to you, please. I don't it's taking up space in my mind. Please take it.
But you know, like I think building a team is like a hard thing to do because I think it's difficult to like figure out like one. It's difficult to like learn how to like what you want exactly in your team and like how to actually run a team.
Yeah.
And then it's also hard to like be able to like find people, and then it's also hard to keep people.
Yeah,
because you like it's not just finding them and being like, okay, here you go, like now you're part of my team. Mm-hmm. It's like keeping them there, wanting them to stay there.
Yeah,
so it's like there's a lot of work that goes into that. That you're like, man, like you don't think about it, but it is like a whole other job too. So it's like,
yeah.
So you're trying to build your little team, but then it's like, okay, you got to work on your little team too before you just like grow, because you know we've seen like when you don't work on anything, it doesn't go good. It doesn't go good for anybody. So anyway, I'm just like, that's my like, I'm putting it out there because I'm like, I wanted.
Can you tell Juan wanted to off relief, like
some of my thoughts,
frustration.
No,
so for those listening ears, Juan, come on,
no,
you were like,
no, I wasn't trying to say anything for you because I'm like, I was frustrated.
But no, Juan, but that's okay. Like, it's okay to like voice your like frustration at what you seem to be encountering. And even though it's a good encounter, even though it's like a good like place to be like, dang, it's so frustrating right now because I have the work to give to somebody, and who do I give it to? You know what I mean? That's a good like. That's a good frustration. I don't know how to explain that. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, don't be mad. Don't be like, no, I'm not trying to bitch and complain about my situation. No, nobody says you're not grateful for it. What I'm saying is that it's a good place to be.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, it is a good place to be. I thought you were talking about something else, and I was like, oh. Okay.
Oh, no.
I was like, wait.
Why? What?
No, I thought you were talking about like.
Spill the tea.
Spill the tea. Really?
We've been watching too many YouTubers.
All right, so like, okay, let me just share. Okay. But without like
saying too much.
Without saying too much, and without trying to like, I don't like, I'm not trying to talk about anybody. I'm not trying to say anything about anybody.
This has happened to us before in the past.
It just happened. It just so happened that like I was all set to go, and I thought I had somebody that was ready to start. I showed up, and they didn't show up, and I was like, oh man, like it was a no-show.
But here's the problem: is that we haven't hired anybody in a while, and we didn't expect. Sometimes you have to filter through some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
maybe
like,
you forgot that part.
I did. I think I forgot that part, and then I think, I wasn't like. I mean, the moment I was upset, I was like, okay, this is a waste of my time. I wasted my time getting ready for this, and then I'm sitting here.
You're prepared for it.
I prepared for it. I'm sitting here, and I'm like, wasting my time waiting for somebody that didn't show up.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so I was like, but then I had to like immediately be like, okay, well, I can't be stuck here.
Yeah.
I gotta just like move on. Like, okay, it didn't work out, like whatever. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. Whatever. Let's just move on and like try to see what else is another option. How can I like find somebody else that can do the job?
Yeah. You can't like I feel like we're not in the position to stop and gripe about it too long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it happened. We know that. We've done this before. You filtered through some people.
And I mean, and you know, sometimes I had to think like, you know, maybe this just wasn't a fit for that person.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if they had something else, maybe like, you know, the other thing that they had worked out better, or maybe their path was just different. So I'm like, I don't want to be mad at that person because it didn't work out. Like,
but you said something really interesting. You said I'm happy it happened now before the time was spent and it happened like a month or 2 or 3 down the road.
Yeah, because we've had that experience too, where we're like, you know, we thought it was one way, and then like you kind of like bend over backwards sometimes, and you're like, oh, we'll figure this out, we'll make this work, and this and that, and then in the end, the same result happens just 2 or 3 months later. Yeah,
and you spent all that time thinking you were training somebody.
Not only the time, but the energy and the heartache, the like everything. You just went through all these like obstacles. You jumped all these hoops. And then at the end of the day, it's the same result.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, you know, better that it happened now before, like, you know, like, yeah, it's going to piss me off for like 10, 15 minutes, but then I'll get over it. And I'll just be like, okay, you know what, let me go post the job again, interview people again, and then, you know, see if the next person works out. And just kind of keep in mind, like, you know, okay, this happened, and like, hopefully that won't happen again.
Yeah.
So
so it's a good problem to have. Needless to say. Yeah.
So if you know anybody, that's good.
Oh my God! No, by this point, if you're watching this episode, hopefully we've had somebody. Yeah. All right, Juan. Well, today I've been thinking about. Okay, so my mind is never off. Like I never turn off my mind. I'm always thinking about the things that we can conversate and have topics about when we're here. And my like notes in my phone is full of like a bunch of conversations and topics that I want to talk about. And you've seen my stuff. You try to help me organize, and you're like, Angelica, no, I can't do all of this. You need to move stuff around.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I will. But in that process, some of the conversations translate, and I wanted to bring maybe some conversations on here with you.
Okay.
One of the things that we didn't talk about last time we were on here, because we were so hyped up about like fucking COVID, we're like, we fucking got it. Oh my God, no way, Jose, not us. And it turns out everybody and their mama got it. This fucking turnaround. Anybody who's like in it, in the middle of it, or recovering from it. But so here we are. This is what we're going through. So Juan, we didn't touch on this the last conversation. And it was what last year was like for us. So in the quest to find out how last year was for you, tell me, did you have any like maybe highlights that you want to particularly like share with us?
From last year?
Yeah, from last year. Do you remember anything from last year?
I was trying to remember. I was like, I feel like it feels like such a long time ago. Like,
it does.
Let me see. Like
January has felt like freaking April by this time.
I mean, I think the biggest highlight for me was, you know, Edgar graduating.
Yeah.
And Edgar going to college.
Like I think
for me that was like the big I feel like that was a big chunk of our year.
Yeah.
Was spent on like getting Edgar ready and like making sure he was good to go for school. And so to me that was the big highlight for me. Like that's the one thing that comes out like is Edgar, and you know, him graduating, him going to school, and like that whole process. Like, and I was looking at pictures yesterday, and I was like, oh look, we were trying to overcompensate at the end, we went to zoo lights, we went to this, we went to that, and I was like, we were trying to drag him everywhere to the point where he was like, okay, you guys go, and like I don't want to go to everything with you guys, because he's like, at this point he's an 18-year-old young man.
19.
He's like, he's not, well no, at that point he was 18.
19 in December he was 19 already.
Oh no, but I'm talking about 2021.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he was 18 the majority of the year.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was really trying to like hang out with us. At that point, he was like, "Yeah, I'll go to some stuff with you, but I'm not trying to do." And we were trying to like, "Oh, you know what? Let's take him here. Let's take him there, because he's going to be gone in a couple of months. So let's try to have a lot of experience with him before he goes. Not that we didn't have any before, but I think we realized like it just hit you like,
we're trying to fit everything in at once.
It's a couple months in, and so like I feel like a big part of the year was just us trying to like do things with Edgar.
Yeah, trying to fit him in everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What would you say?
For sure, Edgar. But you know what? I don't want to. I invited him to the podcast, and I said, "Hey, Edgar. You know, sometimes we have family, and we have friends who know who you are." Because I call him the kid on here, but Edgar. I'm like, people know you. I was like, and it'd be nice to like just give an update. I'd love to just have a conversation with you. And he was like, yeah, not a problem. And I tried to actually, he's supposed to be doing a podcast. And I was, you see me, I was like, Edgar, we can produce your podcast. And he's like, okay, Mom.
I know. I was like, Angelica, hold on, let him like figure it out, like let him breathe, let him have creative expression. And Angelica was like, no, we'll do this and we'll do that, and you just have to do this and da da da. And I was like,
you just gotta show up, Edgar. No, I'll take care of everything. He's so intuitive and he's so smart, and for him not to do like a project like that, like I would feel like it's a waste. You know what I mean? Like the world needs to see the kid. Like he's an amazing kid, and I just want everybody to see him. But again, so Edgar for sure. But like I said earlier, like if I start talking about him, I know I'm gonna get like all waterworks over here. So we're not gonna do that. Oh, sorry. I thought something was like falling on me.
What? Oh, man.
Did you see me react like that?
I thought you were just like trying to like. You know how that people do, like sometimes like when you don't want to cry, you look up. I thought that's what you were doing.
No, I swear to God, I thought I see the reflection of this light is hitting that, like bouncing back, and it looked like that light was falling down. I was like, oh my fucking God, it's gonna fall on me. Okay, I'm sorry. Distraction.
That happens to me sometimes where like we're moving in the car, and I just have like I feel like the reflection of something. It looks like it's moving, and then
you like jump.
I'm like, I know. And you're like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, nothing.
Oh my God. I think this is a sign of that we tend to like overdo. Anyway, we need to, okay. So that's one of my highlights is Edgar. But starting the projects here with you, Juan, I think moving this podcast and starting mine.
Well, this was the first, was the last year the first? Like,
full year.
When we had this studio.
Yeah.
Damn, I forgot that.
Yeah, we've full year we've been doing like this. Longer. Full year we've been doing this, and that's definitely a highlight. And I feel like I've been really, I don't know, like doing the things that I wanted to do. The podcast, one of the podcasts that I did, and I've learned so much. I've learned how to better interview. I've learned how to patience, because apparently I didn't have any before that. I've learned so much, and I'm so grateful for last year for that. But for sure, Edgar was the highlight. Yeah. But aside from that, yeah. But so, what was your most lesson learned last year?
I think to trust myself more, because I think I think I didn't trust myself, fully. Like I wouldn't say that I didn't trust myself at all, but I feel like I doubted myself a little bit more before last year. Where I was like, I'll be like, oh, well, maybe this or maybe that or maybe that, and I would go back and forth a lot in my mind.
With
I would
yourself.
Like debate or like, just what do they call it when you can like, you can if yourself out of anything. Yeah. Or like, what if this? What if that? What if that? And I would constantly do that, and it was less so like doing like even last year was less. The last couple of years has been less. But I think last year, I just really like said, I'm just gonna do what I need to do, and if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And like I feel like my approach is a lot more like that lately. Has been like, okay, well, let's just try it. See what happens. If it does good, then it does good. If it doesn't, we'll figure out something else. So I feel like that for me has required a lot more like confidence and like feeling a lot more like secure in like the fact that if it doesn't work out, I can figure out another way to do it. So I think that's probably been my highlight, that I just feel like much more like
lesson learned, not highlight. Lesson learned.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Lesson learned. What did I say? I forgot. Like my train of thought. What I was saying.
Your lesson learned was to be more confident.
To be more confident. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I hope that made sense.
No, it did.
I kind of went around in a circle.
You kind of did, but no, it made sense. It made sense though.
What about you? What did you think was your biggest lesson learned?
Oh my God, letting it go. Oh my God, letting things go, letting things be what they are, and not forcing things. To taking responsibility and letting some things go. I feel like it's allowed me to grow a little mentally. It's allowed me to fucking mature for sure. So letting it go. Yeah. Well, last year also I turned 40.
Oh, that's right. You were so you were so upset about it.
I was. So, I seen a friend. So our friends last night, her mom, I seen at a party, and she was like, girl, she was like, are you really that upset about turning 40? I was like, yeah. And she was like, you gotta stop. And I was like, okay. No, but things like that, like I now intuitively listen to people. Because people don't, like, they have things to say, they want to share it with you. And so I've always listened, but I've always like, I know better. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes you just have to listen. So that's what I did. And so my biggest lesson learned is letting things go. Quick interruption. If you're listening to this podcast, you're listening to Apple Podcasts, please leave us a rate and a review and let us know what you think. The more reviews you leave, the more likes we get, the more people actually are out there to find us. Maybe we're not your cup of tea, but we might be your crazy cousin's cup of tea. Go let her know we're out here. Any thoughts, Juan? Did I miss anything?
Thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you for listening. Yes, thank you for listening.
I think one of the things that I wanna work on is like I have like I feel like I want to learn how to communicate better in difficult situations because I feel like I don't always like it's easier to like avoid a situation than it is to like figure out a way to like to conversate or have a conversation. Not in a confrontational way, but in a way that still addresses the issue without getting into a yelling match. I like, I want to like be able to do that, like because I'm not really the type that will get into a yelling match. I'm more the type that will just like brush it under the rug,
never address it,
and I'm like. And I don't, but I see that that's not like a healthy way to deal with things. So like now I'm like, I want to get better at being able to like talk about a difficult situation, but doing it where I'm not like being ugly. Or at least I'm not being ugly.
Oh, okay. Well, that include. Okay, well, that's one of the things that I want to touch on. Is like, what do you want to focus on this year? What is one of the things you want to focus on this year? But following up to that one. It's not just about like it's to me it's about not creating the environment in which that can take place in where things can be hostile, where things can like take an ugly turn really fast. And a lot of it is I'm just gonna go back to the same thing. It's letting it go. But so on top of that, what else? Like what else do you want to like achieve for the most part in this year? Is it just like personal development? Self-growth, business? What do you think? I
mean, for me, like, I think that's one area that I guess it would be more personal development. But I think the other thing, like, for me that I really want to achieve this year, like, I do, seriously, I was joking about it before, but I do want to build a team this year. Like, I do want to build a team this year. Like, I want to build a good team of people that I can work with, that, like, I can, that I can just, I'm saying the same thing over and over. But basically, in a nutshell, I'm trying to build a team. Because I want to, like, I feel like for business is what I'm talking about. Because I feel like there's opportunity, there's a growth potential. But I think as an individual, there's only so much that you can do. And I think, like, I can take on a lot, and I like to take on a lot, and I always like to challenge myself, and I like to be like, oh, you know what, I can do, what 3 people can do, I can do on my own. And I like pride myself in that, and to some degree that I'm like, yeah, I can do a lot more than most people. My capacity is just like not that I don't get tired, but I just push myself. But like as one individual, there's only so much that you can do. And I'm like, and I think it's not healthy to take on so much. So I'm like, I want to be able to like delegate work, and I think that allows you to grow even more, because that allows you to pay attention to the things that you need to be paying attention to. So like for me, this year I do want to kind of build a team that can support what we're doing, because I feel like we have a lot of ideas and we have a lot of things that we want to do. But in order to take it there, we need to stop, like, we need to take things off of our plate.
Yeah.
So that we can start doing the things that we want to do.
Yeah. Ultimately grow. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the reality is, like, when you're talking about age, like, I think this year I turned 43, and I'm like, I don't want to be, like, a lot older and still be working, like, the same way I'm working now.
Yeah.
Because not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm like,
it's
at some
taxing.
point,
it's taxing on your mental and your physical.
Yeah, like at some point you want to, like, you just want to have, like, the
relax. Yeah.
That, you know, that stage in your life where, like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go relax. I'm gonna go take a vacation. I'm just gonna enjoy myself.
Yeah. For me, Juan, this year I want to be adventurous. I want to be more. What is that supposed? What did you just do?
Oh, my eyes like this.
What are you? What are you implying, sir?
You said adventures. That's why I just opened my eyes, like.
So what I want to be more adventurous. In what we're doing, we have a few exciting things happening in our lives, and I want to learn more because I've always worked on like the growing relationships of our business or maintaining relationships in our business, and I never really learning a lot of the back end work. A lot of it is the work that you do, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I want to learn more of what you do. Things not because I need to feel like I need to take it off your plate, because it's probably good, like, if you need to step away, that it can still be managed. And so I hope to accomplish at least part of that this year. Being in on phone calls, sitting there and listening what you do and things like that, like being present, because usually, like, you like in the meetings and I'm like off somewhere. Yeah. You're like, yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's good. I mean, I think that, like, I think you've always been involved, but I think being involved in that way is gonna benefit you in the long term. Because, I mean, you can do, like, there's, like, not that you're gonna learn a shitload from me, but, like, but I think it's more like, it's just like, it's good to, like, watch other people sometimes, because I like watching other people, like, and seeing how they do things, because you always, like, sometimes people do things a little bit differently, or you, like, watch somebody and you're like, you know what, I would do this instead of doing that, I would do this. So you kind of make it your own.
Yeah, I think, and like, this podcast is established, and so is mine. And it's amazing that we were able to do that within the last, like, 2 years, during, like, the first 2 years of the pandemic. We were able to do that. And so I do want to get back into, like, not combining both, but doing both. Like, I want to step into that world, like, I like sitting down and listening to the calls and you know, the discussions over the client calls and stuff like that. Even, like, take on a small little client on my own, you know what I mean? Like, fully, completely take them on, where I'm leading the conversation and where I'm leading a phone call. But in addition to that, like, I do want to do the abundance of networking again. Like, I want to step back into that. I put it, even before the pandemic hit, like, I kind of started putting it, like, a little bit on the back burner. I was like, okay, I don't need to do it all the time. You know what I mean? And then I missed it. I missed it. I like the relationship part of things. I like maintaining relationships, but I need to learn the work also.
Yeah.
So, and then continuing these podcasts.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I don't want to overwhelm myself either. So I'm trying to. I'm not trying to cherry pick, but I'm trying to adjust what's going to work best for us. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a work in progress. No matter what you do, like, I think it's like you kind of have to, like, give yourself the patience to be like, okay, well, this thing that my plan A that I had didn't work out exactly the way I wanted it. So now let's kind of make plan B, or combine plan A and plan B to make something else work.
Yeah. So that's my focus for this year. But I went to so Sean, Mimi's sister, had that thing that she was doing. It was like a
vision board thing.
Like, it was like a vision board, like, slash, like, a whole other, like, thing to it. And one of the things that that I just was like on my vision board was like so much more like interpersonal self. And I think that's my goal for this year.
Yeah.
It's introspective, interpersonal. And I've been doing that. Juan, I've been doing that for a while now. But this time I want to start like pushing outwards. Like, you know what I mean? Like start like moving that canvas to like, okay, this is what I build like interpersonal, like me, not physically or literally or externally, but what I built inside, and just start really showing outwardly, you know, in hopes that I can have better relationships with friends and family and people that I encounter in every day. Yeah. Same thing you said earlier, just create an environment where the idea of being, you know, ugly is kind of like, my goal is to eliminate it. I mean, even though it's kind of going to be difficult because some people just like to be confrontational, and sometimes you're just in a fucking mood. You're like, you ever hear that TikTok, I feel like being a bitch today. Like unintentionally, sometimes it fucking happens. But the idea is for it not to happen, or happen much less of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can. Bad days are always going to exist, and you can always be pushed to a place where you don't want to be pushed to.
Yeah.
But I think that, like, for the most part, like, I think it's good to also be able to try to navigate something that you know, like, because I think that, like, sometimes you see things that you saw before, you know, that you didn't really recognize were an issue. All of a sudden, you can see where the issue is.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then in being able to see that, you have to be like, you have to make a decision. Are you gonna ignore it, or are you gonna like try to deal with it in some way?
Yeah.
And then if you're gonna deal with it in some way, like, you know, do you want to deal with it like in an ugly way, or do you want to deal with it in a way that's at least healthier for you?
Yeah.
Where you're gonna feel better when you walk away from the situation.
Yeah, basically.
Because you can't control the outside world. You can't control, like, but you can control. You can try to not control, but you can try to like better do things so where you know how you feel, how you're gonna feel if you do take certain actions or you say certain words. And so, like, I don't know, like, I feel like but it's easy sometimes in the moment to get caught up and just be like, you know what, like, just go to 0 to 100. And then next thing you know, you're like saying all this crazy stuff, and you're like, oh shit, like maybe I shouldn't have said that. But you can't really take it back at that point. I mean, you can apologize, but you can't really take it back because it's like it's already out there. Yeah,
but it starts with you. You can't create that environment. You can't, like, if you expect not to have it in your life, then you can't create it.
Yeah,
you gotta at least try. Yeah.
And so, I mean, we're getting preachy here, but like, I think
I think y'all already know how it works. But so that's my goal for this year. I feel I'm afraid. Like, I feel like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like our age is where we're at a place where everything can be so unexpected.
Yeah.
And that scares me.
I mean, I think that what I think about, like, that, like, the unexpected too, is like, to me, it makes me think, like, I want to be able to like, not just, you know, in a way be able to do something that is for the benefit of other people besides just myself. So, like, it makes me think about, like, how can I serve, and I guess, like, my community, how can I serve, like, you know, my family, the people that, you know, like, that matter to me. But I think, like, on a larger scale, like, how can you, like, do something for the betterment of your community, especially when you know that, like, there's still a lot of problems in our community. So it makes me think, like, you know, how do I, like, make that happen? How do I do that where we do things that are a little bit more important than just, like, you know, me benefiting and me, you know, growing a business that's going to help me, that's going to, you know, make me live more comfortably. Yeah, that's important to me, of course, but but how do I do more than that? Because, you know, I'm, you know, pretty soon I'll be, like, pushing, like, more age than my age now. And I don't want to just be like, oh, okay, that guy, he had a business, and, you know, he made a lot of money and that was it.
Yeah.
I was like, what can I, like, how can I give back in a way? Mm-hmm. Because I know, like, where I come from. I know where you come from. And it's like, there's still a lot of need.
Yeah.
Where we came from. Yeah. So it's like, how do we give back?
Yeah. Yeah. But so, okay. So we know what we want, right? Kind of to do. Is there anything you want to achieve?
In the next year?
This year.
Oh, this year.
Yeah. Is there anything that, like, you feel like, you know what I mean? Like, the kind of thing that's, like, attainable, but you've been putting off to do?
Give me an example.
Okay, so for example, for me, I want to do what I said I wanted to do, right? Which was learn, right? Mm. Learn from you, but I also want to learn more. Mm. That includes, like, how to properly, like, rent the sound equipment, how to better do our lighting, how to better, like, I want to, like, I've been putting it off. Like, there's classes that I can take, like, somewhere here in Houston, like, I can go and I can learn this stuff, but I've been putting it off forever. I want to learn how to edit photos better, like, on actual Photoshop and actual, like, you know what I mean? Not just putting it through a generator on Canva and poop, you know what I mean? Like, I want to, like, physically do it. Is there anything that you've been putting off that you think you're going to achieve this year?
Oh, lately I've been watching a lot of, like, those DIY videos, and I've never been like the handy type, because I just never, like, I never grew up like that. Like,
well, you didn't take an interest in it.
I didn't take an interest in it, and
because your dad was pretty handy.
Yeah, my dad was pretty handy, but, you know, I just never took an interest, and I think now, you know, now I've been watching that, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, it'd be cool to just, like, not that I want to build a table, not that I want to build a bench, but I'm like, it would be cool just to have the tools to be able to, like, use them, and to, like, just to, like, you know, sometimes you just want a project to do, like, just to, like, spend time doing. So, like, I would like to, that's one thing that I've been thinking about, like, oh, like, I would like to, like, you know, just start doing, like, little projects, like, that are just, like, to kind of, for my peace of mind, because, like, I can't watch reality TV all the time as my piece of, as my hobby, like, you know, it's not, it's, you know, it's,
I kid you not, you're obsessed.
No, I do, because I watch it because to me it's, like, mindless, like, TV, and I can just, like, sit there and, like, it just, like, I don't even really watch it a lot of times. I just listen. And, like, but I mean, that's not, like, you know, and I like reading the newspaper, and I like reading, like, I do like doing puzzles and stuff like that. But, like, I also have been having this, like,
I do like doing puzzles. When you did one puzzle.
No, I like doing them, like.
I know, I'm just teasing.
But, like, I have, like, I've been having this inkling in the back of my mind, I think, for the last 2 years, since we started the pandemic, that I'm like, you know, like, it would be cool just to have, like, a little, like, you know, to be able to have, like, a saw, to be able to have this, to be able to do that, to, like, be able to know how to make certain cuts, you know, even if I'm not trying to build anything, but I'm like, just to, like, be able to do it, and just to, like, you know, spend some time doing those things. So, like, I think that's one thing that I would like to do, more for, like, a relaxation, like, more for, like, relaxation and, like,
relaxation,
ease of mind or whatever. So, relaxation.
You just say relaxation.
Oh.
I was like, where did he get the Z?
That's the Mexican in me coming out. Relaxation. Okay. No, but I mean, that's I want to do stuff like that. Like, you know, the technical stuff like this, like, I leave that to you, because I'm like, I don't really, like,
you don't care. You're like,
I'm not that interested in learning that. I'm like, I'll outsource that shit. Like, I don't care.
She can teach me along the way.
But, like, little things like that, like, I just want to be able to do little things like that. And you know, I think, like, you know, it'd be nice, like, when Edgar's old enough that I can teach him a few things, and, like, oh, look, this is how at least I know how to use these things, so that I could show him how to use them.
He can build something.
Yeah, and, like, he can build something, then he can do it, you know. But you know, I think it's just good skills to have.
Yeah. But I mean, so it's been, you know, it's been. I'm looking forward to the year. I'm looking to doing more of these recordings. I'm looking more to do my recordings. Like, I'm excited about it. I'm having a hard time, like, pressing play on my button end, because once we get going, like, that's it. That's it. Like, there's no more like reset. I mean, I can, but it just backlogs everything that I started and initiated. But it looks like I've already have, because apparently we've already agreed to do things and da. Yeah. So things are in motion.
Yeah, and I think, that's like, I mean, there's a lot of things coming. I'm excited about one of the projects that we've been working on for a couple of months now. For a new podcast, and I'm really excited about that one launching, because I think it's going to be big, and so I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
I'm waiting to see how that one goes. So
yeah, you got to tell me which one. Huh? No, I'm just kidding.
I would say it, but I don't want our friends to get mad at me. Like, hey man, why are you saying that? Putting my business out there.
Yeah, I know.
But no, like I know that's one project that like you came up with the idea, and you've been producing that project.
Yeah, that's been fun.
And I'm just like I've been there to listen to the conversations. Now I'm like I'm the grip. I like go and I set up and I break down and and I sit there and I listen to the conversations, and they're really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm excited for it to be out there. I'm excited to see the reaction that people are going to give to that podcast.
I've been enjoying producing.
And I've been enjoying watching you produce, and I'm excited to kind of like see this play out, how it's going to go. This is the first time that we're like fully producing something for somebody like that
else, like that at this
creative level, that's like,
creative.
That's creative. So I'm excited to do it.
Full force creative too. Yeah. So, but yeah, Juan, I'm excited. This is good. We're both excited. Apparently, we're both excited here at this point. We can go on and on and on about the experience, and I think at this point we're being repetitive on like where we're at and what we're up to and how the year is going and what we're looking forward to this year. But I mean, any closing thoughts?
I don't know. Okay, we just. No, I mean, I don't think I don't. Okay. Like words of inspiration. No, I don't know if it's coming to me.
No, closing thoughts. It doesn't have to be words of inspiration. Okay.
No, well, I mean, I just think it's I'm hoping, like, I feel like this year's similar to 2020, where like there was a lot of momentum at the beginning of the year, and then there was a lot of like, so I feel like it was like a hold, or things like didn't, things just happened differently. So I'm hoping that that's not the case this year. That things play out a little bit differently.
Well, I was gonna leave this out, but if you've stayed this long to listen to this part of the podcast, I think it's well enough for us to share. We are planning, like we are planning, even like living part time in another state.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
That means business in a whole new area, meeting new people, making connections, having conversations, getting to new people in a new light, in a new atmosphere outside of what we're very comfortable in. We're very comfortable here in Houston, very, very comfortable. Being there makes me very uncomfortable. It makes me like, I get like physically sick because I'm like, I've never done this ever in my life. Now I've made connections and contacts like from start to zero, but they're usually when I know somebody else and I know this person, and we're walking into rooms where we fucking know nobody.
I mean, it is a little intimidating because it's a brand new start.
It's not even a brand new start. It's like, when they say take your skills with you, you'll be able to use them somewhere else. This is that. It's sink or swim, home fry. Like we bringing our tools, literally, metaphorically, like, and so I'm nervous, but we've been received with open arms at every end, and that yet makes me very excited. And I have expectations for myself, and not meeting up to those is making me nervous. Maybe I need to have a conversation with myself about those expectations. But yeah, we'll let you know how it goes. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm so afraid that I'm going to leave and then like 3-6 months later and be like, I'm back. I couldn't do it, guys. I'm going to sit here and wallow in self-pity and cry myself to sleep. Like, I'm that kind of scared. You know what I mean?
But you would never know unless you try.
Don't get metaphorical on me. Don't get all don't get preachy with me. I know that. That doesn't take that, but that doesn't take away my fear.
No, I know. I mean, it's different. It's definitely new. Like I was like a little bit like, because I'm like I was saying yesterday is like I
was the one that was all go 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 go.
Yeah, you were go 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 and I wasn't, and then now I'm all like, because I'm like, I see the potential and I see the opportunity and I'm like, okay, let's go. And you're like a little bit more like no,
here's the thing, it's like we're running, right? And I am like, keep up the pace, Juan, keep the pace. I'm like front ahead, and Juan's like, oh, I see the goal, and he's like running ahead of me, and I feel like we're chained, and like you're fucking dragging me at this point, and I'm like, holy shit, here it goes. And so I mean, I'm excited, but it's still like I have physical reaction to this. Like my body's reacting to it, and I'm trying to be like, and I know I'm prepared. I know what, like, I know my capacity, I know my capability, but it still doesn't take away the fear. You know what I mean? And I think I just have to go through this. I have to go through the fear. This is part of my process.
I mean, and you know what? I mean, if it doesn't, and you just have to come back. It's not. I don't necessarily would consider that a failure on our part. Like if we decide, if we do it, and then we say, you know what, let's go back to Houston. I think it's an experience like anything else.
Maybe we should take it as an experience, not as a sink or swim.
Yeah, like I think it's an experience. If nothing, it's like
I'll try to keep that in mind.
It's an experience, and you know, we've been in the same place for, the last, together for the last almost 20 years now. And it's like,
it feels like 20 years. It hasn't been that long.
I know it's not 20 years yet, but it's close. And, and it's like, we're
a few years apart from that. We are a few years from that. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's like,
dude.
It's been like, we're used to a certain thing. And I think this is just a something different, and I think any new beginnings or anything new, any change, maybe not even a new beginning, maybe just a change. Any change can be like, it can be a little overwhelming. So I think, I like take it as an experience, and I say, you know what, let's, see what it is. And see what there is or isn't there for us, and then we'll go from there.
Ooh, but I'm excited, scared. This is not something that we do. We've never done this. But there's no way to experience it unless you actually do it. How can you experience the unexperienced if you haven't experienced it and you're not willing to? So we'll let you know how it goes. We'll do a roundup and we'll let you know how it goes.
We'll be talking about it as if once we roll it out. Once things start to happen, once we start making that, then we'll definitely be talking about it. Definitely, you'll see it. Like on our socials, you'll see it, like what we're doing on a regular basis. So you'll be along for the ride, and so like if we, we might come back and be like, hey guys, help us get back to Houston.
Somebody can send us a moving truck. That'd be great. No, okay, we're not putting that into the air. We're not putting that into the universe. What we're saying is we're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. And I'm for sure we can pack our own shit and bring it back if we have to. But we're going to be okay. We're going to give it a good go. If not, we're going to give it a good go, and then we'll let y'all know how it's going. But yeah. So that's basically it. That wraps up today's episode. Otherwise, we can keep talking and talking and talking. What I did want to do is touch up on how it was last year for us, how it was going, what our future plans are, and now you know a little bit more about us and where we're going and what we're doing. We'll let you know the state that we're going to, the area that we're going to by the time we settle in. Hopefully sooner than later, we'll let you know exactly where we are, and not exactly. I'm not going to give you my address, but we'll let you know the area, the context of where we are and what we're up to. Yeah. But yeah.
But as always, before we close, I'll say if you like this episode, if you like this show, I know we've been like a little bit delayed in our episodes, but we're going to get better, we promise. Yeah. But if you like listening to it, or if you want to share it with somebody, we'd appreciate it. If you want to leave us a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts, we really do appreciate that because it helps us get in front of more listeners. For those of you that have emailed us and, send us nice notes, we really appreciate it. It means a lot to us, and we hope that you'll continue to send us your messages because we do read them, and we do like to.
If you have advice for us, if you got some. Oh my God, what did she do? I told you, I ate earlier. If you have advice for us, like if you've taken this leap of faith, something like this that we're talking about, and you have something to tell us, to encourage us, please give us all the advice. I'd love to hear it from a friend to a friend, please. Yeah. But like Juan said, if you like this episode, please let us know by liking, commenting, or subscribing. Let your friends know. Perhaps we're not your cup of tea. We might be your crazy ass cousin's cup of tea. Let them know we're out here.
All right.
And with that,
I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.